wondered what it'd be like to have an actual Spanish speaker correct your Spanish? Well, this is something you can do completely for free using iTalki. Now, iTalki have this feature where they give you prompts so you can practice your writing of your target language. And this is a really great way just to keep using the language, start thinking about new vocabulary, and test if you're using your grammatical structures well. Plus, either native speakers in the community or teachers will come and comment on your post and basically give you corrections. Now, I was just like testing out this feature casually, and I actually got quite a lot of replies from iTalki teachers. So let's go through how they corrected my Spanish and let's see how the process has been. So I think I can find it. Yeah, I've only made one post on iTalki. And the question and the prompt was, ¿Es buena idea convertir una afición en tu trabajo? Which is basically like, is it a good idea to turn a hobby into a job? Now, I think the time I replied to this, I was like on a train somewhere. I gave like a half-assed response, but like I tried to respond. So let's have a look more closely at this. Someone replied in Russian. And oh, so this is actually just the general community response to this particular prompt, not my response. But that's pretty cool, because if you're learning a language or multiple languages, I guess you can practice with the same prompt. So let's actually go to my response. ¿Es buena idea convertir una afición en tu trabajo? Desde mi punto de vista, es una idea mala. Pienso eso porque a veces necesitamos los pasatiempos para relajarnos y descansarnos. Aún así, es bueno que tengamos dinero en una manera de alegría. So, desde mi punto de vista, from my point of view, es una idea mala. It's a bad idea. Now, mala is one of these adjectives that actually, where you place it in a sentence, does actually have consequence. Another adjective like this is the adjective for poor, pobre. If you said una hija pobre y una pobre hija, there's like two different meanings. I actually don't remember which one is which at this moment in time, but one of them means like the poor, she doesn't have a lot of money girl. The other one means the poor girl, like, oh no, unfortunate thing happened to her. Like she could be very rich, but like, I don't know, she could have lost a parent, and it's like, oh, that poor girl. So same adjective in Spanish, two different meanings. And adjectives like bueno are like this, the adjective for good. I think there's also like vieja or viejo, old also works like this. So I already knew I was like a bit shaky on the order for this. So quite a few teachers did actually pick me up on this. Next, I was trying to say, I think this, because sometimes, pienso eso, I think this, because, porque, a veces, necesitamos los pasatiempos, we need pastimes, para relajarnos, to relax ourselves, y descansarnos. It was a little bit repetitive actually now that I'm thinking about it, because relajar and descansar, like relajar is to relax, descansar is to rest. And one thing a lot of my Spanish teachers picked me up on was the fact that I would, in English, I probably say the same thing multiple times for emphasis. For example, relaxing and resting. Whereas they were like, the concept of rest goes through the first time you say it, so you don't really need the second sentence. Please comment below if you've been studying Spanish and you found this. And please let me know also if you speak a different language to English and Spanish and there's like an anti-repetitive vibe. So next I was saying, aún así, even so, is what I was trying to say, es bueno. And the fact that I've said es bueno in this way, like es bueno que, it's a phrase that basically requires the use of the subjunctive. Like if you've studied intermediate Spanish enough, you'll have to learn the subjunctive because like they use it so much in Spanish and it's a beautiful part of the language. But there are certain like trigger phrases for when you use the subjunctive, and es bueno que is one of them. It's like es adjective que normally triggers a subjunctive. So it could be like es ideal que, es, because it's almost like you're giving an opinion by putting that adjective there. Es interesante que, es preciosa que, es precioso que también. And then tengamos is essentially the present subjunctive of tenemos, which is to have. Es bueno que tengamos dinero, it's good that we have money, en una manera de alegría, like through a method of joy. Maybe not the most natural sentence construction, but again, first thing that popped into my head as I was writing this reply. Now, let's see what the Spanish teacher said. So what's quite cool about iTalki, in most cases you can see where they put corrections, which is really, really handy because you don't just kind of see the correct form, but you see how you could have improved it. And then a lot of the teachers are really cute and they leave comments too, and it's quite encouraging. So, acá mi, ito, desde mi punto de vista es una mala idea. So clearly I got the order of mala and idea wrong. And then she's kind of happy with the next part of my sentences, probably putting a comma after a veces in a really bad place. I don't think I use commas like necessarily the most best way in English, so in another language it's kind of like, well, what do you expect? And then she says, aún así es bueno que ganar dinero de una manera que nos dé alegría. And what she's done there is she has said it's good to earn money in a way de una manera que and it's nos de alegría. I actually don't think I'm familiar with de que nos de alegría. So I'm not sure if I could explain that completely, but if you do speak Spanish, please leave that in the comment below. And so she's really just emphasizing tenemos, like it works, but like a better verb would be ganar, which is to earn or to win, because oftentimes you talk about ganar mi sueldo. Here we've got Christina, and she's saying that, again, should have put mala before idea. And she's also really pointing out that descansar is not a verb that you need to use a reflexive pronoun with. So the reflexive pronoun in this instance is the nos. That's the reflexive pronoun for us. So when I say relajarnos, it's to relax us. Whereas if I was going to say just for me, I'd say relajarme. Or if it was for you, I'd say relajarte. And I think, if it was he or she, it could be like relajarse. So she's pointing out, I can say relajarnos, but I can't say descansarnos. And I think just the more language you're exposed to, the more you realise, oh, like this is a reflexive one, this isn't a reflexive one. Another place where I tend to mess this up is divertir and disfrutar. Disfrutar doesn't have the reflexive part, but divertirse does. Pero de todos modos es bueno tener una profesión de que nos dé alegría. But of all the methods, it is good to have a profession which gives us joy. Que nos dé alegría. Feels like a verb is missing there, but it's probably just that it's more of a like an advanced grammatical structure that I'm not familiar with. So I might say this in the long way just because I haven't reached that C1 level of fluency, and I'm only really at B2, so I know a lot, but I don't know everything by any means. And also, obviously, I'm still una estudiante, pero ahora logré mi meta. Desde mi punto de vista es una mala idea. Pienso eso porque a veces necesitamos pasatiempos. Here's another thing I do. I tend to add in the definite article, i.e. the word the, because, I don't know, we use a lot of articles in English in places that other languages don't use them. So I have to like retrain myself not to. Can't think of an example at this moment in time, but if you can give an example, please use it in the comments below. Aún así es bueno tener dinero. So they're saying, although it is good to have money, aún así, even so, it is good to have money, tener dinero, pero también hacer cosas que nos den alegría. So I feel like this phrasing, también hacer cosas que nos den alegría, is probably something more like I would actually say. Just it flows quite naturally in my brain. It's literally saying, but also to have things which give us joy. Que nos den is from dar, to give, alegría. Let's see what analyze that. Ana Alava said, let's skip the first part. Aún así es bueno que tengamos dinero haciendo cosas que nos llenen de alegría. Haciendo is like doing things, haciendo cosas. So in the previous example they said hacer cosas, which is to do things, whereas haciendo cosas means doing things. Que nos llenen de alegría. I don't think I'm familiar with the verb llenen. It makes me want to like Google it. Llenar. In English. Ooh. Huh. So why would it go and end in en if it's more closely the verb llenar? Let's go and explore. Have I forgotten my verb conjugations? Okay, llenar conjugación. Ooh, it's the subjunctive. Oh, good friend. The subjunctive. That explains so much. That's why it's super cool to read through your corrections and see why you're making mistakes. And it was really cute. She left a comment saying, muy bien, excelente dominio del idioma, solo unos pequeños detalles, pero en general casi perfecto. Sigue así. So, muy bien, very good. Excelente dominio del idioma, like excellent command of the language. Solo unos pequeños detalles, only some small details, pero en general, in general, casi perfecto, nearly perfect. Sigue así, continue like this. So I had like 5 teachers reply to this in like the first hour, and then a couple people replied even a couple days later. So if you're wanting like quick responses and checks, you should definitely be checking out iTalki with me. Annabelle, Isabel, Anushka basically pointed out that I needed to say, or I could say, instead of tengamos, use tenemos, or ganemos rather. In the indicative is ganamos, in the subjunctive is ganemos. Dinero de una manera de alegre. And this is, that common change at the end is like alegría is, one of them's a noun and one of them's the adjective. I think alegría is the noun, and alegre is the adjective. Por una sonrisa de alegría, una sonrisa alegre. Muy bien, espero haberte ayudado. I hope I have helped you. I hope this has been an interesting exploration as to how you guys can basically get corrections for your Spanish reading and writing. I also hope this has inspired you with like developing your command of the language. I know we got pretty technical in some parts of this video, but it's also really amazing when for each level that you're at in terms of your language learning journey, you're able to understand where the corrections are coming from and even start to self-correct yourself. If you want to see more videos like this, I mean, please leave a comment down below. Happy to have another go at doing a lot more writing. It will be good for me and it will be fun to share it with you guys. And in general, if you're enjoying this content, be sure to subscribe and like for more videos about my Spanish language learning journey and the results I'm getting like less than a year after committing to learn Spanish in 10 months. Take care guys. Hasta luego. Thanks for watching. The YouTube algorithm thinks that you might like these videos, so why not check them out?